All right, here we are, boys and girls, ready for the replacement roll for a 1968S roll we did earlier in the week, and it turned out to not be a good roll because it was mostly circulated. Number of spots and other things in the roll. I just did it because it had a special date on it. It was wrapped in August of 1968. Anyhow, that didn't quite work out, so here we are. Another roll that was wrapped in 1968, this one by the Bank of America. So we'll trust the Bank of America a little better on a 1968 original roll. This is a 1968 San Francisco original bank wrap roll. Going to get started on it here in just a moment. Not a whole lot known for 1968, but what little we do know to show up in 1968, some of it's pretty decent. So there's some chance we could find something good. 1968 was the last year of the use of an older hub that had been used for the obverses of Master Hub, that had been used for the obverses of many of the wheat years. So it was very worn out by 1968. And we solved the problem by completely changing the design in 1969 to more mirror the original design made by Victor David Brenner in 1909. But of course that doesn't change how generally soft 1968 Lincoln cents can be. But here we go. And you'll notice these are a little bit different. They don't have flip inserts. And the reason they don't have flip inserts is because we already used number 525. And so with this one, we'll just go by the names. First name, Taco John. Taco John will get this coin. This coin right here is the end coin on the roll. Looking to see if we can pick out any of a couple of different RPMs or double dies on this. A couple of double dies known to show more up in the motto than anywhere else. So we're going to look at the motto pretty closely. Not really any double die reverses known for the business dry coins. All the double die reverses for 1968S that are known, I believe, are all proof. And proof dies and these dies are two different things. Okay, first coin, Taco John. Turns out to be a normal coin. We'll move on to our second coin. I'll look at the reverses on the first 10, then after that we're going to fly by the seat of our obverses and only look at those. But the reverses will be checked again. Won't be the last time they're viewed, that's for sure. And looking at all the important places. See if we can find anything. There are a few different pickup points that I especially use in and around the motto to give myself a good idea of what I'm looking at as to whether I'm seeing hub doubling or nothing. The first of those places is generally on the bottom of the diagonal leg of the R. If you look there, you'll see separation on most cases of hub doubling. If you don't see that, it'll at least be much more thick than it should be. So there'll be a lot of extra thickness in that area. The second place I generally look for the class 2 hub doubling, which is what I'm talking about, distorted hub doubling, which shows that separation toward the rim usually. At second place I actually look for the distorted hub doubling is on the inside of the serif of the G of God. So this is your first place that I look, is at the bottom of the R. And if so, there will be separation and some extra thickness there on the bottom of the R, and a lot of times there will be a notch at the end of that bar. And then I always look on the inside of the G. The inside of the G right in this area is going to give me any splits in the serif there if I'm going to see them. Almost always, when you have doubling of the style that you'll find on 1968 cents, you'll see that same issue. Reverse of 68 is much like the reverse of 1964. So if you know any of the double die reverses from 1964 and what they look for, we'd be looking for about the same thing on these 1968 dated cents. 1968 was a good year for me, but it wasn't such a great year for coins. There's not a whole lot known going on in 1968. 68D is probably the best for pennies. 68S is still something to be looked through. I mean, we can't just discount it because we don't know of much on them. We have to keep looking and see if we find anything, you know. This one is a nothing. Flip it over on the reverse and see if the reverse turns out to be the same thing. Absolutamente nada. Now in the reverses, what I'm generally looking for is a little bit of extra ridge line along the lettering near the rim that parallels the lines that parallel the rim. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a few minutes. Get this R and check out this R. Okay, it's normal. And the G is normal. And the L in Liberty is normal. I also watch for anything that happens to appear like a bar L. Now, what I'm looking for is, like in this area, what I would look for is this line right up here. And then I would look at this line right here. And these serif, these top serifs of the letters on the reverse. And you'll see a notch in the serif, or you'll see that these lines grow extra thick. It's these lines right up along the ridge line that parallels the direction of the rim. The highest ridge line of the letters. And well, for 1968, I just don't think we're gonna really see it. 68D has a really nice one. 68 Philadelphia and San Francisco are not really known for their double dies. We'll look again on this coin. This one's going to Doug. I see this one's just gotten really, really soft on the outside. It's a very late die state strike. For the reverse anyway. And the obverse for that coin. You usually like to turn it around and point that bottom serif straight at the light to see if I got anything. And I'm not thinking... No, we're not seeing anything here. Just a bunch of reflections. Nothing on that coin. That's for Doug. I said we'd be looking at the reverse side of the first 10 coins. This is number 7. For those who have not yet been following. Pretty late die state on that one too. Here's Bo Palmer. See what Bo gets. Well, these are much nicer coins than the ones we've been through so far. The earlier roll, a lot of spotting in that roll. Number of circulated coins as well. These are all at least decent BU coins. Now it's just a matter of trying to find something that actually reflects as a die variety, which I'm going to say in 68 rolls, 68S rolls, your chances of finding a die variety in a 68S roll is about 1 in 10 to 15 rolls. So meaning that you would find one die variety in about 10 rolls, and that one die variety would probably be repeated anywhere between 5 and 12, 15 times. Because that's usually what you end up with out of a roll of coins, is a sampling of probably around 6, 7, 8 different die pairs. Alright, this one right here is coin number 10, so it's going to be our last reverse cookie. Then we'll give the rest of them to the double die gods to see how they say we did. That would be Eric's eyes. Let's see, what did we get? Nice clean reverse, but no hub doubling. No doubling here. Move along now. Alright, next up, Mr. Worley. You haven't missed nothing, Cookie, unfortunately. You missed us opening up a 1968S bank wrap roll. Turns out to have some slight darkening on the surfaces, but still decent uncirculated coins. You've seen me go through the reverses I'm going to go through already in this roll. If you haven't seen a reverse, that means you came in after coin number 10. Speaking of reverses, boys and girls, I found something this morning. Yes, I did. I found something this morning. Let me show you what I found this morning. Somebody has to say, "Show me the money." Frostbite now. Carl's got his eyeballs on. Carl says, "Of course I want to see it. I always want to see it." And Cookie says she does too. All right, well, let me get this coin done. Then we'll take a look. This one's giving me a little bit of a heebie-jeebie interest look. It's getting a little bit extra thick there on the R. Nothing with the G. Liberty's not doubled at all. So let's write this one off to bad hub. Now, the first thing I want to show you is the fact that this coin is old. Okay. There we go. 1924S. It goes back quite a ways. But look at this. Check out what I found. Here she is, Miss America. Look at that. Look how thick. Look how chubby them letters is. When it comes to coins, we like chubby. So there it is. Isn't that sweet? Look how thick that is. Just look at it. Look how thick that is. This one, I don't know. I'll have to flip it over and take a good look at it. It's like a fine. Yeah, about a fine 12. It's got a flat cheek, but it's got a fully defined ear and jawline. The reverse should have, I'm going to say at least half of the wheat lines. A little more than half the wheat lines are visible. Relatively strong looking reverse. Yeah, this is a fine. Malcolm says bin, then Captain Morgan wants to raise the bin by 5. This is an already known DDR. It's been known for a number of years, but most people don't have them because they're quite rare. I mean, these things are difficult to find. Well, if you guys really want to, I can auction this one off at the end of this show after all of the people who purchased coins in this show are satisfied of what they got. We can do an auction. One lot auction. I'll put it on tomorrow night's bill. I'll put it on the auction bill for this week. If you guys want to do it, we'll do it as soon as these coins are done. I don't know what number we're on. Probably about 15 or so. Where'd I find it? In the magic box of coins that just keeps giving. I have a few boxes, and I've got a magic box in my closet that if I only open it under certain conditions, it keeps producing magic coins. And that's where I got it. You know, it's one of those don't ever get it wet, don't feed it after midnight type things. But we can auction this today if you want to. Carl gets... Yeah, it looks like all these are probably going to turn out to be normal. We're having a bit of a luck issue finding die varieties on 1968S, it seems. Carl, then Mark. And next, Stephen. 1924S DDR. 1924S DDR. Much different from just finding a 1924 DDR. 24S is actually one of the semi key by condition dates in upper condition, which this one isn't, but in upper condition, 24S can bring thousands of dollars. In 64 red, 65 red. This one's a fine-ish with a very scarce double die reverse, which is a massive Class 6 double die reverse. I guess I'll give you guys a chance to be the owner, because, well, somebody opened up and said they wanted it. Somebody else opened up and said they raised them. Somebody else opened up and said they raised that. Well, that to me sounds like an auction. So we're going to turn it into a real auction at the end of this show for the 1924S double dies. Charlie, I had a couple of coins for you. Those coins went out in the mail. I'm not sure what else. If I'll go back and I'll look for your email. I did respond to you, so I don't know why you didn't get it, but I will respond to you after this show. I'll go back and find your email and make sure I give you a response again. I'm not sure what else to do, but I want to do whatever it takes to make sure that we are completely square on everything. I definitely don't run from people, so it's not that for sure. I'm just not seeing whatever it is you're putting down. All right. And we know this was a bank-wrapped roll. I opened the bank-wrapped roll right in front of you, and this coin comes out of it. So there's a red-brownish coin. Looks like Larry ended up with this one in his fingers. You found a die chip you wanted help with. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't. I'm sorry I didn't respond. I certainly thought I know I've seen email from you and I've responded to what I've seen. Well, that L got a little bit beat up, didn't it? Cap Morgan dollar. Doesn't look like we're especially hitting it here either. Yeah, Charlie, I like to be helpful to anybody, but especially the people who are in the Copper Coins family and participate in our auctions. Not necessarily to buy anything, but just participate. Come in and say hi, get to know us. You become one of my brothers, and I help you. So I'm willing to help you with anything you need help with. I just have to know it's there. Stephen now with a 1968S, and this one also appears to be a normal coin. Doesn't look like this row will end up producing any RPMs or double dies. Another one, Richard. Let's see what we get here. It's pretty. Nice looking coin. But, yeah, like with the story of the other coins here, nothing. Now, Charlie, I know I have not seen that. I would have been able to respond to you pretty immediately on that. The die cracks, breaks, and chips and things like that can get a little bit of a premium value from some people if offered. However, they are not quote-unquote listed. Nobody has ever gone through the trouble it takes to list all of the die cracks and die chips on Lincoln Cents, or any other series for that matter. Couple of bucks here and there maybe, but they are not rare. They're not very common, but they're not rare. And I think it takes kind of a special breed of collectors to jump into those. It has to be somebody who has kind of like that morbid curiosity interest in seeing things that went wrong. That's kind of what we're looking for here. We're kind of looking for people who aren't necessarily following the specific knowledge base for era coins, like, oh, well, this is a flip over double brockage. No, it's not like that. These are the people who are curiosity seekers. They're the ones, they're the looky-loos, the rubbernecks out at the wrecks on the interstate. They're the ones who want to see all the little oddities and weird things, and they're the ones who are going to pop a few dollars for a coin like this. But in general, no. There's not going to be any real error interest. They don't have a name other than die chip or die crack, and there is no specific market following for them. I get into some of the curiosity coins when they're 1968 coins. I have a thing where I enjoy anything that is a error of any kind on a 1968. In fact, if I find something really weird on any of these coins, I'll offer right away. I'll straight up offer to buy them. But see, if I were born in 67, 68 coins would not mean anything to me. So just for specific curiosity's sake, I wouldn't just be buying 68 coins in that particular case. I am flipping all these over as I'm going through real quick to see if there's anything major on the reverse. Sometimes you can see some of the really major stuff that happened to a coin only on the obverse or only on the reverse. Sometimes it's only on the reverse. And so as I'm flipping through these ones of more curious interest to me, I'm checking to see if there's anything on the reverse side. So if there's anything very, very visible on the reverse side, I will definitely flip the coin over and we'll look at it with a microscope and I'll tell you exactly what I found. I actually put these into the pockets going this way. So I put them in like this, and then I tap them down like that, and that way when you turn it over and then you fold it like this and you put it in a holder and your obverse is sitting right side up. So in placing them into these flips, I'm looking at the reverse of your coin as I'm doing that. That gives me another opportunity to look for the anomalous things that would actually have some good value. Now, there's another reason for all this, and it kind of makes sense. Maybe it doesn't, or it does, but this is it anyway. Most people, when they collect coins, they want to show the date side of the coin. And if there is an error coin that the error only shows on the other side, they tend not to like those errors as much as they like the ones that show on the date side. So if there is, like, say, a crack in a planchet or something, you can only see that crack on the reverse side, and you can't see it on the obverse. They're going to want that coin less than one that would actually show on the obverse. If you get a struck through, even struck through a piece of cloth, and the struck through shows only on the reverse, but the obverse looks completely normal, people aren't going to want that nearly as much as they want one struck through the obverse. And so I tend to look for all that little stuff, everything that I can think of on 1968 coins especially, just because I like to have oddity coins from 1968, even if they're not generally considered collectible. And so you have a class of people like that who are just collecting something because it is what it is, and not because it has value, or not because there's a market for it, or not because there's going to be 1,000 people interested in it. They collect it only because they're interested. It's just what they want. I like license plates with the year 1968 on them. I like oddity and error coins with 1968. That's just what I do. Somebody asked me the other day, well, do you collect coins? I said, well, kinda. Not really, but kinda. If I see something I really like, I'll hold it out. I'll keep it. One of these days, I might actually go through and show you some of my very rare oddity type collection that I have of 1968 stuff. It's like I have 2 original bank wrapped rolls wrapped in 1968 by banks in Memphis. One of them was the First Tennessee Bank, and the other one was Union Planters. I have a wrap of each of those 1968D Lincoln cents from banks in Memphis. And the reason, part of the reason I have that, okay, is I was partially brought up in Memphis. I lived in Memphis from the time I was in the 3rd grade until I graduated high school. The other reason is because 1968 is my birth year. But the overriding reason, and the reason where they would have general market interest, is that these coins could possibly have been in the vault at the bank when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis in April of 1968. The Union Planters Bank is only about 6 blocks away from where Martin Luther King was assassinated. Those coins could easily have been sitting in the vault at that time. And it's one of those things that I just like to do. Collect 1968 stuff that is reminiscent of 1968, especially where it relates to coins. And what better way to relate to coins or stamps or baseball cards or license plates or something, because those are all dated specifically 1968. You know, it's not like I got this McDonald's napkin that was issued during 1968, but it could have been 1967, 1969, or 1970 because they did these for 4 years. Nope. What I do is specifically dated 1968. No question about it. That looked kind of interesting until I can see that it's got a flip ridge on it. And it's got a little ridge on it, which means, see the little shadow coming in right there? A little shadow. I thought that might be a repunchment mark, but it isn't. That's just a little bit of machine doubling. I don't see it on the date, though. But it definitely appears to be machine doubling on that mint mark. Yep, I've seen that. I've seen that kind of thing happen often, Cookie. And in fact, the ones that were so named many years ago are the ones that are now still valuable, even though their cause is generally not understood or known by the people who collect them, such as the three-legged buffalo. A lot of people think, oh, well, yeah, they only put 3 legs on this buffalo, and somebody did it out of spite or on purpose, and then they found them years and years later. They found these buffaloes that only had 3 legs, and so now they're really valuable and really collectible. Well, that's not the true story. True story in that situation is that they accidentally polished off the furthest, the shallowest leg of the buffalo when they were trying to polish out clash marks. Polish that leg away. Could have happened any time. It wasn't created that way when the die was created. It was actually polished off during the striking of coins, so there could actually be 1937 D buffalo nickels that were actually struck and circulated that came from the exact same die before that polishing event happened. And so you could very well have seen a 1937 D buffalo nickel looking for your 3-leg buffalo nickels that was actually from the same die as your 3-leg buffalo nickel, because the leg was polished off in the middle of the coins being minted. Which is why they are scarce, because they don't represent all of the coins made by a particular die. They represent some of the coins made by a particular die. In that, they are not varieties. Die varieties are something that is present on the die throughout the entire period of time the die is making coins. Die varieties are specifically any coin produced by a given die. Now, you're going to buy a 1937 D buffalo nickel as a die variety when it doesn't have that leg shaved off? You're going to buy that as a 37 D 3-legged buffalo? I don't think so. Same thing with 22Ds, the 22D Lincoln cents with the D worn off or polished off the die. So you're telling me that you'd buy a 1922D with a mint mark for the same price? Nope. But that mint mark wasn't like that when the dies first started producing coins. That stuff developed on the die as the die was being used. Alright, what do we got left here? I'm coin 46 now. Taco John. Coin 46 here. And I think we're probably just chasing geese at this point. Been through this many coins in an original roll. I doubt we're going to see what we're looking for. Couple more coins here. Steven? See, I'm not 100% sure that it was actually a clash mark that did it. It could be pretty much anything, but clash marks are generally what they polish dies for. On the 3-legged buffalo, there is a trail of small hits to the die, little bumps on the coin that were little small trail hits on the die that goes from basically the point of the genital area of the buffalo toward the front legs in a line. If you can get a 37D that has that marker, there is some chance that could have turned out to be the die that had the leg polished off that people pay so much money for because of dye polishing. One way or the other, it doesn't make any difference to me that you have an effect. If the cause of that effect was something that should be considered common, I am unwilling to pay extra money to receive the effect. Because, well, I mean, after the whole three-legged thing and got in the Cherry Picker's Guide, and Cherry Picker's Guide got as popular as it has, and then people start reporting, looking around for things, and they find 3.5 leg this and 3.5 leg that, and I think there's a 3.5 leg 36, there's a 3.5 leg, then there's 2 feather, like 1916, 1927. There's a whole bunch of different dates that have 2 feathers on the headdress on the front instead of 3 like it should be. I don't really know enough about the specific markers to tell you for sure that this did or did not happen, what happened, how it happened, or anything else. All I know is about that little line of dye dots that goes from the basically the bottom of the point on the buffalo's belly, curving toward the ground in the upper or in the lower hoof area of the front legs. Okay. So here we go. This is 1924S 1DR001. It's 1924S double die reverse number 1. Here it is again. This coin grades roughly fine condition. We are now in a bidding situation to own this coin. Please clear the room of all other conversation and bid now. Who's going to bid? Anybody bid for this coin? Give me an opening bid. Somebody give me an opening bid. I'll start the opening bid. Let's say $10. $10 for an opener. Anybody bid a 10? There's Cab Morgan dollar at 20. 20 now. 21. 21. Anybody bid a 21? There's 25. 25. 26 now. Anybody bid a 26? Looking for $26, 26 now. Anybody bid a 26? Zoom it out. If you guys want to see anything different, just tell me. Obverse, reverse, whatever. There's Carl at $30. 30 now, 31. 31 now. Anybody bid a 31? There's 32. Captain Morgan dollar. Carl back at 33. 33 now, 34. 34 now. Anybody bid a 34? Yeah, that's a pretty sight right there. There's Cap Morgan dollar back at 37, 37 now, 38 now, 38. There's 40. Carl at $40, 40 now, 41, $41 now. How about a bit of 41? That's what the obverse looks like. It looks a little flatter here than it does in person, but it's still a decent 1924S. Carl at 43 now, 44, 44, but a bit of 44. 44, how about a bit of 44 now, but a bit of 44? But there's that massive double die reverse. You got 43 going once, looking for a bit of 44 now, 40, 40, but a bit of 44. No other bids of 43, 43 now, going twice, looking for a bit of 44. 44 now, anybody a bit of 44? There's Captain at 44, 44 now, 45. 45, 45, a bit of 45. 45, looking for a bit of 45, 45, a bit of 45. There's 45 now, 46. 45 now, 46, 46, a bit of 46. Got Carl at 45. $45 now, 46, 46. How about a bit of 46? 45, 45 going once now, looking for 46. There's Cab Morgan dollar 47. 47 now, looking for a bit of 48. $48 now, anybody bid of 48? There's Carl at 50. 50 now, my next bid would be 55. 50 now, 55, 55, anybody bid of 55. Cab Morgan dollar is out. Carl, you're my winner. $50. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And that is it for that. Carl, I'm going to stick this in your box, and I'm going to put a $50 24S 1DR1 on your bill for Tuesday. That'll probably be done Wednesday morning, the way things have been going lately. But I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great day, what's left of it for today. And this takes care of all of our reveals for this week. We will have a reveal show coming up. Oh, Carl wants a 4-pack of the 59Ds. I do have those as well. Let's see. I don't have a great way of showing these, but let's see if I can do it this way. No, how about if I do this? There we go. There's a pack of the 459D RPMs that we were finding out of the bag. There would be a 1mm69, 1mm70, 1mm83, and 1mm93. The 1mm70, I only found 12 of those out of all the coins I looked at. I probably looked at 20, 25 rolls, and I only found 12 of those. So 12 is the max of number of sets that I could do. This is a $20 package. There's 4 different attributed brand new 1959 DRPMs. Carl wants one of those. If I get anybody else here who wants one, I'll stick it on your bill for Tuesday. Frostbite says he'll take one. I appreciate it. Now this pack of 4 is all 4 different RPMs that I was finding out of the coins from the bag. The sealed bag that we opened, MSB 004, which is 1959D. Tonight we'll be doing a sale for another mint sealed bag, but this one has a little less hope. It is much cheaper. We'll be doing a pair of coins for $3 out of a 2001 sealed bag, 2001 Philadelphia. Oh, Cookie says she wants a set too. Let me keep up with things here. Okay, Cookie. And I think from that, I'll go ahead and take off for the rest of the afternoon. I've got to fix dinner and get everybody together for the reveal show this evening. I got to make dinner and then get back together with all this and get everything ready for the reveal show. I have copied down the dates from above. I'm going to select from that list. We'll pick something out that'll be nice and easy, something that we can do and have some fun looking for some of the good stuff. I'll see you guys at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's about an hour and 45 minutes from now. For now, I'm going to go down and cook dinner. Sign out. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you then.